We really need to talk about psychological safety.
Psychological safety is all the buzz right now.
Psychological safety.
Psychological safety.
Do you feel like people know what psychological safety is?
This is Back to Basics. Psychological safety is a pretty new term. A 2016 Google report put it on the map as the #1 driver of successful teams. But it took a pandemic to make it a trending topic. Amy Edmondson of Harvard Business School came up with a fairly agreed upon psychological safety definition to work from. Psychological safety is a shared belief that I can bring my full self to work, that I will not be humiliated or made to feel less good about myself if I speak up with ideas, questions, concerns, and even mistakes. In a team with high psychological safety, teammates feel safe taking swings and thinking boldly. Those teams are more likely to aim higher, push further, and help the company reach new heights.
The truest way we can create a psychologically safe environment is to understand our people, to know our people, and understand what would make each one of them as an individual feel psychologically safe. That's going to be different for me than it is for you or for someone else on my team. And if you don't know what would make them feel psychologically safe, I might suggest you need to spend some more time with them in order to know that.
The ideal workplace, in my opinion, would first and foremost be psychologically safe, which means that you can express what's going on not only at work, but also what's going on outside of work. You can be fully yourself. You don't have to feel like you need to project this work persona that is different than who you are in your personal life.
I remember at the beginning of my career, how many things I would worry about. You know, once I shaved 75% of my head and I was like, is this gonna fly? Are people gonna think this is unprofessional? This color that I'm wearing today, I don't think I would have worn it at the beginning of my career because I remember being told, you know, PhDs are arrogant. So I would worry about things like, you know, is somebody gonna think I'm arrogant or a know-it-all because I'm wearing a bright color? Think about what it means when you can just forget all of that and be yourself. You know, when you don't have to wear that mask. Could that be related to, and could that open the door for people to feel like, okay, well, since I can show up as my full and authentic self in my big jewelry and my bright colors and my shaved head and my tattoos, maybe that means that I can speak up and say something that I think might be unpopular. Like maybe that's okay. You know, maybe I can challenge somebody who is senior to me in the organization, and that can also be okay.
Psychological safety controls the levers of some of the most important business metrics. According to Gallup, moving the needle in the right direction on psychological safety leads to a 12% increase in productivity, a 27% reduction in turnover, and a 40% reduction in safety incidents. It's been found to be a significant reducer of stress for employees too. And that's especially important now because the workforce is stressed.
Our survey into the state of the workplace found that 48% of workers have experienced burnout, 32% felt lonely at work, 61% experienced elevated stress levels. And these aren't even the worst case scenario numbers because if you break them out by group, you will find that those numbers are even higher among women, employees of color, and parents. That's a sign of environments that are not equipped for today's world.
But they can be. Workplaces can become more psychologically safe. And one of the quickest and most powerful ways that message can be sent to employees is if leaders within the company set a strong example.
One of the things I've heard recently I thought was brilliant, and I keep talking about this, is they had a mistake of the month club. So leaders in team meetings, one per month, would have to share something they did that didn't turn out the way they had hoped, how they felt about it, using words like embarrassed, ashamed, annoyed with myself, whatever, frustrated, human words that we can all relate to, and then finally what they learned, what they grew, how they grew from that moment. My goodness, what a huge game changer that would be, right? If a leader could say, here's how I screwed up last week. I guarantee you, everyone on that team, would have a moment of pause, and also this unspoken invitation to also share and to also say, hey, I struggled with the same thing. Could you tell me what you did? It changes the dynamic fundamentally. So I think the danger is managers don't risk exposure. The benefit when they do, I think it's huge.
To me, talking about either creating or maintaining a psychologically safe workplace is a little bit tricky. A lot of people understand psychologically safe workplaces to mean no matter who's speaking, they feel safe in speaking. And I think that that's both true and not true. I think you need to think about psychologically brave workspaces in addition to psychologically safe. And so as we're thinking about how do you embed that into the day-to-day, it means that no matter what dimensions of diversity I may represent, the intersectionality that I'm bringing to the table, I'm not the one who always needs to be brave in order for you to feel safe in sharing your thoughts and ideas.
Hit the brakes. The intersection Kiana hinted at, where psychological safety meets diversity, equity, and inclusion, requires a full stop. It's one of the most important intersections on the road to a more human workplace, and it needs to be its own episode. Next time on Back to Basics.